Today, we're going to dive into one of the 20th century's most ambitious social experiments and, tragically, one of its most catastrophic failures, China's Great Leap Forward. It was a plan born from this incredible, revolutionary vision, but it would end in a human tragedy that's just hard to comprehend. You know, the whole story of the Great Leap Forward is wrapped up in this massive paradox. How on earth did a plan that was supposed to catapult a nation into the modern age to make life better for everyone lead directly to one of the worst famines in all of human history? That's the big question we're going to tackle.
So, to really get to the heart of this, we first have to understand the man behind it all, Mao Zedong, and the immense pressure China was under in the late 1950s. I mean, this was the peak of the Cold War, this global showdown between communism and capitalism, and Mao was absolutely determined to prove that his way was the superior one.
And the ambition here was just breathtaking. Mao's goal was to take China, which was mostly a rural farming society, and turn it into an industrial powerhouse basically overnight. We're talking 15 years to overtake countries like Great Britain. This wasn't just about economics, this was about ideology. And that timeline, wow, that tells you everything you need to know about the incredible urgency they felt. Okay, so how do you even attempt something so unbelievably radical? Well, you come up with an equally radical, top-down plan that's designed to completely re-engineer the entire society. The whole thing really rested on two giant pillars. First, a total revolution in how farming was done. And second, mobilizing every single person in the country for industrial production. All right, pillar number one, agriculture. The idea here was to get rid of private farms completely, a core belief of communist theory. So millions of individual family farms were all merged together into these enormous state-run communes. From now on, the government decided what to plant, when to harvest, and, crucially, who got to eat the food. Now, that second pillar was just as wild. To hit these insane steel production targets, the entire country was essentially turned into one giant, sprawling factory. People were told to build little furnaces right in their own backyards and melt down any scrap of metal they could find. We're talking their own cooking pots, their farming tools, anything, to add to the nation's steel count. It was a bold, bold vision, but this grand plan almost immediately slammed into the hard wall of reality, and deep, catastrophic cracks started to appear in its foundation. And here's where it really starts to go wrong. The whole system was built on a foundation of fear and, frankly, lies. Local officials were under crushing pressure to meet these impossible quotas for grain and steel, so they just started making stuff up. They reported harvests that never happened and production numbers that were pure fiction, all to avoid being punished. This created a totally false picture of what was actually happening in the country. And this created a truly deadly domino effect. The central government, believing these fake reports, took its share of green from the communes, often leaving the very farmers who grew the food with absolutely nothing to eat. At the exact same time, essential farm tools were being destroyed in those backyard furnaces, which, by the way, were producing brittle, useless metal that nobody could use. To make everything even worse, people were cutting down forests everywhere to get fuel for the furnaces, leading to massive environmental damage. This wasn't just a failed policy. This was the direct cause of a human tragedy on a scale that is just hard to imagine. And it's so important to be clear about this. The famine that swept China was not a natural disaster. This was entirely man-made. The food was there, but it was being taken away based on lies. And at the same time, the ability to produce new food was being systematically destroyed. The human cost of these policies is just, it's difficult to even fathom. While the exact numbers are debated, historians agree that tens of millions of people died. A pretty conservative estimate puts the number around 30 million. This wasn't a famine from a drought. It was a direct result of government policy. That makes it one of the deadliest man-made disasters in all of human history. You know, a disaster this huge doesn't just end. It leaves behind these deep, lasting scars on a country's politics and its people, scars that last for decades. The failure was so total, so undeniable, that it actually weakened Mao's own powerful position within the Communist Party. He was kind of forced to take a step back. But this period where he was sidelined would directly lead to his next and arguably even more destructive political campaign, the Cultural Revolution. It was a violent, chaotic movement designed to crush his rivals and put him back in absolute control. So, what's the big takeaway from all this?
The Great Leap Forward is this absolutely terrifying lesson about the dangers of ideology when it's completely disconnected from reality. It shows you what happens when a grand vision is pushed forward with no concern for facts, for expertise, or for the basic needs of the very people it's supposed to be helping. And that leaves us with a final, haunting question that echoes far beyond just this one event. When a leader's grand vision for the future completely ignores the reality of the present, and when anyone who disagrees is silenced, who is it that ultimately pays the price?